I feel like majority of immigrants in the healthcare sector have been brainwashed that if they don't have a master's degree in public health, myself inclusive, that their life is not complete and that masters in public health is the best thing that can happen to anybody. Okay, so in this video, this is a bit of a rant because I've made a detailed video on why you shouldn't study a master's degree in public health. My view hasn't changed, and I'm going to tag that video in, I'll just tag somewhere up there so you can watch in details, because what I did in that video is to give you alternatives that you can actually go for in place of master's degree in public health. There is a bit of disclaimer to this claim that I make that don't study masters in public health in the UK. Don't do it. Okay. So the disclaimer is, if your goal is to remain in the UK, masters in public health might not necessarily give you the highest chance of getting a job that would afford you that opportunity. That's my reason. Now listen to that again before you come for me in the comment section, as you all have done in the previous video, but I won't stop saying the truth. And I'm glad that some people were able to share their experience, some people shared my view, were able to share their experience, right? Now, the first thing is, why I say don't do it, is because, first off, not everyone is cut out for what it takes to be able to get a job in the UK with a master's degree in public health. That's because it is tough. It is not easy. The competition is high. As in, when I say high, high up there, it's really high. Public health is a field that is densely packed. It's not on the shortage list. There is no, you don't have any major advantage. Do you understand? There is no we need you kind of vibe within this field. So that's why I say, if your goal is to go back, take for example, you're from a West African country or any of the African countries or other countries, oh, I bet with you will be highly sought after. That's the difference. But here in the UK, you're not exactly sought after. You need to now push and pull and push yourself to be able to, wrangle your way into any public health field that will have you. And that's even if they offer you a sponsorship, if you need one. So that's my major reason. So I'd like people to always understand that before we go in depth into, my rant, because this is sort of a rant. I've made a detailed video, like I said earlier. Now, should you study masters in public health? That question I would always answer with, as an immigrant, no. If you want it easy, if you want to easily get a job that would sponsor you, my answer would easily be no. Now, as a home student, my answer would be, by all means, yes, your chances are high. There's so many routes you can go. If you are an immigrant who does not intend to stay back in the UK, by every means, yes. So this is why it's not a direct yes or no, but majorly the video is directed at immigrants. So if you want to stay back, I would say you have other options and you are going to pay about the same fee. So why not go for the options that would increase your chance? That's what I'm trying to say. Now, what are these alternatives? I don't want to start listing again, right? So I guess I would create, to make it easy, I'll just create a broad list on the screen for you to see, and then I'll group them by sectors. So I hope you can see that. You have the healthcare sector, the social care sector, you can see all of that, the tech sector. Have your pick and then go for some of these jobs. Most of them, majority of them, are on the shortage list, on the UK shortage list. If you don't know what the UK shortage list, that's the place where you find jobs that have shortage of staffs, that are in demand, whereby sponsorship can be easily offered to you, and that's what you want to be aiming for. Now, Let's now take, for example, which is the bonus tip. If you've logged off early from this video, you probably will not get this bonus tip. Let's take an example. Say you are an immigrant and one way or the other, you have managed to study the master's in public health I told you not to study, and now you're now stuck and you need to get a job. What do you do? That's the tip I'm about to give. I mean, I guess that's the main bit in this video, which is how do you get a job? Now, when you say public health, I know when most of you search for jobs relating to public health, you just go public health officer, public health jobs.
Seriously?
That is very generic and too broad. Too broad. You need to cone it down. You need to look for something more specific. Now, before we even get there, while you're studying that public health, you need to have a definite plan. What's your plan? Are you going into a PhD? Are you going into the research sector? Are you going into the policy sector? Are you going into health informatics? Public health is quite diverse. Are you going into epidemiology? What aspect of public health are we focusing on here? Now, once you're certain of that, you need to get some experience in that field. It's not enough that you have healthcare background where you're coming from. It's not enough that you have a master's in public health. You still need to leverage some work experience. Now, how do you get that? Especially because you don't have any experience to leverage when you're applying. So I guess my suggestion would be get a volunteer role. Get a volunteer job while you have your full-time job. Get a volunteer job that aligns with that field you're trying to get into. Right, so that volunteer job will afford you the opportunity to be able to have work experience. So once you're able to gather that, by the time you're ending your master's degree in public health, when you're getting your MPH, you have work experience at the same time. Then you can leverage that in the job, in your job search. Now, your job search has to be very specific as specific can be. One of the key things I always advise people to do is go on LinkedIn. When you get on LinkedIn, look for people in that sector, people who look like you. That's very important, who you can introduce yourself to and it would not be awkward. People who you look up to within that field, who are like the expertise, the first is within the field. Introduce yourself, cold approach. Cold email them, or how they call it these days. Email them, say, hi, my name is this is my situation. Don't sound too desperate, but introduce yourself, talk about what you've done, where you are, what you're hoping to get. You'll get pointers. And guess what? Some people have gotten jobs from that approach, which is, we're actually hiring. Do you mind? I'll send you this. You want to apply for it, and then let's see how things go. And then you apply for it, put in all your best. See, if you ever get a job interview or especially if you know that, your chances of getting a job is very slim. So if you even get an invite, you give it everything. You give it your 150%. You give it everything you've got. So that approach, meeting up with people on LinkedIn, going to people on LinkedIn is actually very beneficial. You need to network within this public health field. You need to network, and aside that, you need to be aiming for those places that are hiring, that are not the popular places. The mistake people make: you want them to hire you in London, in Cardiff, in the cities, in Birmingham, in Leeds. You're not going to all those places that a lot of people are not there. That maybe it's old people who are retired, but they need people to work as well. So you are needed, you're sought after. So if by now you have not cracked the code to this thing, you need to be sought after for you to get a job. They need to be desperate to have you for you to get that job. Like, we need someone. That gives you an advantage. But if you're aiming for someone like London, Birmingham, the competition is massive. Not that you're not good enough, but the competition is really high. And oftentimes you would agree with me that you cannot, as an immigrant, be competing with British nationals. I don't know if they've stopped putting that in now, but as of before, it's usually on the job description that if they have a British national who has met all of the criteria, they will go for that person in place of an immigrant and then offer you sponsorship. It's only right if you think about it, but yes, that's how it is. So you need to take advantage of that. You already know London is popular. A lot of people are there. You want to look at those places that a lot of people are not. Now, another thing is you want to be looking at graduate routes. I know that NHS has a graduate academy that they run, and that affords you opportunity as well. So you want to be looking at that. Those are the places you want to be looking at. Those are the places you want to leverage things, and then be able, with that, I'm telling you, if you do some of these things, you'll be surprised how easy it will be. But if you just, wait for the masters to end, and then you start going online and you start typing, public health officer jobs in London, public health officer jobs in, that might not necessarily be the best approach. And then for some public health jobs, they don't call it public health officer jobs. They don't call it public health something. They don't even have public health in the role. Take, for example, smoking cessation officer. That's not public health. I mean, you can't hear anything public health in that kind of role. Take, for example, health promotion officer. I mean, obviously, that's a public health role, but you did not hear them say public health promotion officer. It's just health promotion officer, health awareness officer. There are so many. So you need to be aware of the keywords also used. I will try to list some of them in the description box, and then I hope that helps you. But that's the main thing. So I've answered that question. Should you study a master's degree in public health? I have several videos on it. Watch them. Think about this. Think about it very well. It's a long game, so think about it. Be sure that this is what you want to go for before going for it. Now, I hope you've liked, I hope you've subscribed, and I hope that you want more of these videos. And if you know someone that will benefit from this, I would advise that you share this video with them. And until I see you again, make sure you put a smile on somebody's face. Bye.